Another day, another story. Today Tabo Eminent Channel is celebrating its first anniversary. Thanks for your continuous support and response to the channel. Looking forward your preference to perform better. 1. Ramadan was important before Islam. Ramadan is said to have been an important and holy month for Arabs long before the advent of Islam. In this month, local feuds and warring would stop as a period of uninterrupted peace was observed, during which the more pious would retreat to temples, caves and other spaces to meditate. According to Islamic tradition, known as hadiths, Ramadan was also the month when God revealed the scriptures to Abraham, Ibrahim to Muslims, the Torah to Moses, Musa, the Psalms to David, Dawood, and the Gospel to Jesus, Isa. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. 2. Ramadan includes the Night of Power. Muslims believe it was during Ramadan in AD 610 that God first spoke to the Prophet Muhammad. According to Islamic tradition, during that Ramadan Muhammad retreated, as he often did in the month, to a small cave on the outskirts of Mecca called Hira to meditate and reflect in seclusion. Then on one of the odd nights in the last 10 days he heard a voice demanding he read the meaning of the word Iqra, and thus began the Quranic revelations. The verses from that night are found in the 96th chapter of the Quran known as Surah al-Alaq. The night the revelations began is called Laylat ul-Qadr, or the Night of Power, and the Quran says it is better than 1,000 months, 97-3, which is why Muslims spend the last 10 days of Ramadan seeking it out in the hope they will be in a state of worship, reflection and meditation on the Night of Power. 3. Ramadan starts and ends on different dates every year. The start of Ramadan falls on a different date every year in the Gregorian calendar. This is because the Islamic calendar follows the literal cycles of the moon, and each month only begins when the new moon is sighted. As a result, the exact start of Ramadan is not confirmed until the day before, though an approximate start date is calculated in advance. It is the same for the end of the month, after which Muslims across the globe celebrate the festival of Eid al-Fitr. 4. Fasting is intended to elevate the spirit. Although popularly seen as a fast from food and drink, Muslims also abstain from all sexual activity and vulgar behavior during their fast. Food and drink are metaphors for worldly needs and desires, and thus abstinence from them is meant to elevate the spirit. The act of fasting predates Islam and is apparent in all the major religions of the world. In that respect, it is an ancient practice, and one that may also carry health benefits. Fasting indeed holds significance in many spiritual and religious practices around the world. While the specific reasons and methods for fasting vary among different cultures and beliefs, the overarching intention is often to elevate the spirit or achieve spiritual growth. Fasting is seen as a way to cleanse the body and mind, removing impurities and allowing for a clearer connection with the divine. By abstaining from food or certain activities for a set period, individuals practice discipline and self-control, which are considered virtues in many spiritual traditions. Fasting can lead to increased focus and awareness, as the absence of food can sharpen the senses and redirect attention towards spiritual matters. Many religions incorporate fasting as a way to demonstrate devotion to their faith or deity. It's a form of sacrifice and dedication. Some fasts are undertaken as acts of solidarity with the less fortunate, fostering empathy and compassion for those who experience hunger regularly. By temporarily abstaining from physical pleasures like food, individuals can detach themselves from material concerns and focus more on spiritual growth. Fasting is often practiced alongside prayer or meditation as a means to seek guidance, clarity, or answers to spiritual questions. Overall, fasting is considered a potent tool for spiritual elevation and growth, offering practitioners a way to deepen their connection with the divine and cultivate inner peace and wisdom. 5. In addition to fasting, Ramadan includes other special practices. Some of the special practices during Ramadan include eating a special pre-dawn meal called suhur before starting the daily fast, and then eating another post-sunset meal called Iftar to end the fast. During Ramadan, Muslims also take part in extra worship, the most visible of which are the late-night Tarawih prayers performed by Sunni Muslims, and the practice of itikaf, a form of spiritual retreat inside a mosque. Also, towards the end of Ramadan, many Muslims make a special charitable donation called zakat al-Fitr, which goes to the less fortunate so that they may also enjoy the festival of Eid al-Fitr at the end of Ramadan. Muslims are encouraged to increase their frequency of prayers during Ramadan. In addition to the 5 obligatory prayers, salat, special nightly prayers called tarawih are performed in congregation at mosques. Ramadan is considered the month in which the Quran was first revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Muslims strive to read or recite the entire Quran during this month. Many mosques hold special Quranic recitation sessions called tarawih, where portions of the Quran are recited nightly. Giving to those in need is highly encouraged during Ramadan. Muslims are expected to give zakat, which is a mandatory form of almsgiving based on one's wealth, and sadaqah, which is voluntary charity. Many Muslims also increase their charitable giving during Ramadan as a means of earning spiritual rewards and purifying their wealth. Iftar is the meal with which Muslims break their fast at sunset. It is often done in congregation with family and friends, and it begins with the consumption of dates and water, following the tradition of Prophet Muhammad. Suhur is the pre-dawn meal eaten before the fast begins each day. Ramadan is a time for strengthening bonds with family and community members. Many Muslims host iftar dinners for family, friends, and neighbors, fostering a sense of unity and camaraderie. Ramadan is a time for Muslims to engage in self-reflection, introspection, and repentance. It is considered an opportunity for spiritual renewal and seeking forgiveness for past sins. Laylat al-Qadr, or the Night of Decree, is believed to occur within the last 10 nights of Ramadan. It is considered the holiest night of the year, during which the Quran was first revealed. 6. There are differences in the way Ramadan is observed. One key difference in the practice of Ramadan is the start and end of Ramadan. As the Islamic calendar follows the actual cycle of the moon, the start of Ramadan is dependent on the sighting of the new moon. While a large number of Sunni Muslims follow Saudi Arabia's sighting of the moon, many go with their own local sighting. This leads to Muslims starting Ramadan and celebrating Eid al-Fitr, which concludes the month, on different days. Other differences include Shia Muslims celebrating the birth of the second Imam Hassan ibn Ali, also the fifth Caliph, the grandson of the Prophet, on the 15th day of Ramadan, and observing a period of mourning in the last 10 days, as it was in this period that the first Shia Imam Ali ibn Talib, also the fourth Caliph, was murdered in AD 661. 7. Important Islamic events have taken place during Ramadan. Several other important Muslim historical events also took place during Ramadan, including the victory of the Muhammad-led Muslim army in the Battle of Badr in AD 624, the Prophet Muhammad going on his mystical night journey, the Miraj, according to some traditions, and the Prophet returning to Mecca triumphant, having been expelled from his hometown by his enemies earlier in his prophethood. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.